Is your insurance company taking advantage of you? Even if you pay your premiums every month, insurance companies don't always have your best interest in mind when you file a claim, and it becomes their turn to pay you. I'm Miranda Kahn, and you're watching WPTV's Ask the Attorney web chat. And joining me today is Todd Fronrath, a partner of the personal injury law firm of Lytle, Reiter, Smith, Ivey, and Fronrath. And Todd, thanks so much for being here again.
Thank you for having me.
So today we're exposing some of the misconceptions about the insurance industry. The first one being that insurance companies usually pay your claim. From your experience, what common tactics do insurance companies use to avoid paying a claim?
Well, unfortunately, they use many tactics, but I'll try to hit on a few of them.
Okay.
One of them is that the insurance company will often contact somebody that's been injured in an accident. They try to get to them immediately after the accident before they have a chance to consult with a lawyer. And they try to get the person to give a recorded statement or say something that's going to be detrimental to their case that can be used against them later on down the road before they have a chance to get the proper advice from legal counsel and get notified of what their rights are. The other thing that they will often do is offer an injured party a small amount of money immediately following an accident in exchange for a release. And it's very dangerous for people to sign those releases because oftentimes, unless you're involved in a catastrophic injury situation, you don't really know the extent of your injuries, and oftentimes they can be progressive and get worse as time goes on. So you don't ever want to settle your case too early without knowing the full extent of your injuries.
And I hear that happening to a lot of people where they feel fine, they don't have any neck or back problems, and then 3 or 4 months later they're having problems getting out of bed.
Exactly.
Their neck's bothering them and they discover that it's something more serious. You mentioned, though, that people often give a statement to an insurance company right away. We brought this up on the show before. That's typically what people think of doing right away. Contact your insurance company.
It's okay to contact the carrier to let the carrier know that you were in an accident. But oftentimes the insurance company, they're not going to typically advise you of what your rights are. It's always better to speak to a lawyer first who has experience dealing with insurance companies.
Right. So how can an attorney help with an insurance company, or when an insurance company rather makes a low offer or no offer at all? How can you assist in that matter?
Well, the first thing that we do is getting involved in the case. You automatically have somebody on your side that has experience dealing with insurance companies and insurance defense lawyers. Also litigation can get very pricey. So one of the things that our firm does, and other firms they do as well, is they front the costs in a case, the litigation costs, the filing fees, the payments to experts if that's necessary in your case, etc. So the injured party does not have to come out of pocket for those expenses. Some of the other things that we do, we have resources on our staff such as our own investigators, nurses, paralegals, people that assist the lawyers in handling your case to make sure the best job gets done.
How often do cases go to trial, would you say?
A lot of cases do get filed, but the vast majority of cases get resolved before a jury does render a verdict in the case. Obviously there are a good number of cases that get resolved through a jury verdict, but the vast majority do get settled at some point prior to the jury getting the case, either at mediation or sometime during trial.
And how quickly can this happen?
It really just depends. When you file a lawsuit, for example, in Palm Beach County, your case is going to get assigned to a particular judge. That judge already has an existing docket when your case gets assigned to that docket. So depending on how crowded the docket is and where the judge is setting cases for trial, it really just depends on as far as turnaround time goes.
Now, if an accident victim is awarded money at trial, does the defendant driver have to pay out of pocket, or is the insurance company held responsible?
That's a really good question, actually, because under Florida law, as a plaintiff's lawyer, I am not allowed to tell a jury during trial that the defendant driver has insurance coverage, which is a little bit unusual probably, because the defense lawyers in a case typically will try to play to the emotion of a jury by making it seem that the defendant driver in a case, for example, is going to be personally responsible for a big judgment or damage award corresponding to the injured party, and that simply almost inevitably is not the case. There's almost always insurance in these cases. We just cannot tell the jury about it. So if people are watching this or ever sitting on a jury, there's a very, very high percentage chance that the person sitting at the defense table has insurance, and their insurance company is going to pay any verdict.
So bottom line, when it comes to insurance companies and you're involved in an accident, you should contact an attorney right away.
Absolutely, as soon as possible.
Todd, thanks so much for being here. Good
Thank
to have
you.
you. That's all the time we have for questions today. But remember, we'll have an attorney here from Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath here every month answering the questions you submit online. So make sure to get those questions in. We like having them. Thanks for joining us.